Oh, we're already live, peeps. Hey, Fitbit, what's up, Becca? Yeah, cycle suspension. Our guest of honor tonight, our interviewee, Dirtastic. Hey, girls who ride. Sorry I'm running a little late, y'all. I was trying to make some dinner. Hi, baby. And, you know how, PJ, and you know how those recipes always say, only 10 minutes to prepare? Hey, Noah, they lied. So, yeah. JD Boyer. JD, where are you from? Hey, Marissa. Or Marisa. Don't know that, most people don't know anymore, JD, but my maiden name is Boyer. Spelled exactly the same way. That's why I want to know where you're from. I was snacking on a little bit of granola there when I hit the live button. Oregon. I don't know that I ever had family in Oregon. We might need to talk later, huh? Dirt Fam. Everybody give a hello and a thumbs up to Dirt Fam Racing. Stephanie went to the doctor today and had staples removed from her hip because they had to take bone from her hip to do a bone graft for the surgery on her wrist. Things went well, and but it's probably going to be this whole year before a whole year of healing before she gets to get back on the bike. But if I know Miss Dirt Fam Mama, she's going to be on the bike before then. I just hope and pray that she heals quickly and everything heals right and she gets range of motion back and all of that good stuff. Otherwise, we'll just have to tape her hand to the handlebar and turn her loose. Just put a recluse on her bike. She'll be fine. So, since I started late, and I know Claw is running a little late, you might sell your bike. We'll talk about that later, Missy. Unless you want to get a Sherco, and then I'm all about that. Did everybody watch the watch Supercross? And how are you guys doing in your Supercross fantasy? Because I don't do Supercross fantasy. It was very interesting, and I did not get to see the Makeup to Mud edition yet. I'll have to watch that. We, of course, re-recorded it. But one thing you might want to know about our guest tonight is Kalyn was a Makeup to Mud athlete last year, and I did meet her at Makeup to Mud camp in June. And I asked her to come on tonight because I wanted to talk to her and actually have her talk about Dirtastic, which she is a founder of, and what it does. But, hey, Kirsten, what's up? Makeup to Mud was a local. I wonder if I know her. I'll have to check and see. It wasn't little Molly, was it? Little girl? Like 7 or 8? Hey, Lauren, what's up? From Waco. I'll have to go and watch. So anyway, Belton. Yeah, it's a little bit further south. Yeah. Anyway, so who are your favorites for Supercross? Where are my Roxon fans? Where are my Eli fans? Sound off if you are also a Cooper Webb fan. I like Aaron Plessinger simply because he has an off-road background and who his dad is, Scott Plessinger. The 94, yeah, Roxon. All right, cool. It's going to be interesting to see how that all unfolds as the rest of the season goes. Tomac. Any Jason Anderson fans? What about Chad Reed? Not going to say a word. God bless that man. He is old in dirt bike years. It's kind of like dog years, but multiply it by 20. And that's how old he is. So anyway, it's 7:40. Webb took a heart. Yes, he did. Oh my gosh, that was a gnarly hit. And then we also lost Adam Cianciarillo, broken collarbone. Hey, Renee, good to see you. So, yeah, I'd like to see Roxon do it. We'll see how things go. Cheryl! Cheryl, you joined us tonight. Are you in your jammies and your PJs? How about I bring you on live? You're lucky Kalyn's going to come in instead of you. And we'll get Cheryl on after she gets a couple of races under her belt, and we'll interview her. All right, so Kalyn should be down at the bottom where you can ask to join the live. And I think it's the two faces on the right, the two smiley faces. So, Kalyn, we're at 7:40, so let's go ahead and get this party started, and let's talk about Dirtastic. So, start pushing buttons or whatever options down there at the bottom of your screen to join live, or the easiest thing is to leave the live and then come back in, and as soon as you come back in, the invite will say, request to join the live, and hit it there. That's the easiest way, I know. So, but come on with you. We're ready for you, Kalyn. Go ahead, just push those buttons. It's all right. While you're pushing buttons trying to join, this is race week for us for Torn. Our first race is this weekend in Stephenville, and we'll see how things go there. I'm not overly fond of the property. That was the place where we had all the sand right off the start. And there we go. Dirtastic is requesting to go live. It's not my favorite property. That's all I'm going to say. The Sherco ran well. I just hope I can run as well as it does.
Hey.
Hey, there you are. Hey, everybody, say hi to Kalyn. Is it Kalyn, or say your name for us?
Kalyn, that's correct.
Kalyn, all right.
Yeah.
So basically the way this works is I'm going to ask you a question or two, and then I'm going to let you run. And then I might interrupt you and take you a different direction. But really, this is, like I said in our messages, we're just going to chat. First thing I want to know is, how long have you been riding?
I've been riding for 10 years, actually February 15th. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I know is because it was Valentine's Day date 10 years ago. Yeah.
Very cool. So what do you ride? What bike?
Currently, I'm on a Husqvarna TE 250i.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. And where do you live?
I live in Hood River, Oregon.
Oregon. Okay. Yeah. Hey, that must be why we have JD on here, because he's in Oregon. Oregon guy too. Yeah.
Representing.
There you go. Yeah. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about your riding experiences before we get into talking about Dirtastic? Because I really want you to tell everybody about that. But give us some background. Just go whatever direction you want, and you can't go wrong unless you start talking about everybody has to wear pink or something like that, you know.
Oh yeah, totally. Pink all the way.
No.
Pink and blue. Let's do it. Oh wait, it's already been done. Sorry. So dirt biking, I started 10 years ago, and my husband got me into it. I actually wanted nothing to do with the sport when he first asked me if I wanted to go see a race. I said 4-letter words that I probably shouldn't say on here. I was like, why would I want to do that?
We call those colorful metaphors.
Yeah, it was very colorful. The reason, like, why would I want to do such a thing? So it's, well, then I started watching Supercross, and I saw all their fancy outfits and, well, gear, right? But it was outfits to me then. And it looked super cool. So I saw that, and then I went and saw a works race at Stratoline in Washington. And so that was, when I saw that, I was like, all right, this is cool. I think I want to give it a try. And I have always been a competitive athlete, and I really like things that push me. So at 26, I jumped on a KX100 for the first time, and yeah, and
Renee, talking your language.
That's what I started on, and quickly I got a KTM 125 pretty soon after that, and started racing that summer. So it was quick, but whatever, like racing, right? So
the racing the racing, was it motocross or was it off-road single track?
Off-road for sure. Yeah. I definitely practice a lot of motocross, and that helps me get better at riding. There's a local track, Mountain View Motocross, and they do practice on Tuesday nights. So we would go there pretty much every Tuesday for several years. It
Okay.
was our thing. So that helped a lot, but definitely I'm an off-road rider and racer, and in Hood River we have great access to trails in the area. Well, the whole Pacific Northwest is really
Oh yeah,
great. So
you post some great pictures
yeah.
of great locations. I'm jealous.
Yeah, and
So
that's been a lot of recent. We were in Idaho a lot this last summer, so really we have a lot of great single track in the region, and so yeah, I just kept really I got into it. Thankfully, my husband Pat is a great teacher, really
mhm.
patient, and took me to a lot of these places that pushed me, and our friends also like I'm just really lucky that I had guys that were
Yeah,
into teaching and patient and really great teachers. So I'm lucky. And 10 years later, I'm still doing
you're
it.
still
So
loving it. Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
it's definitely become a little bit of an obsession, I think.
yeah, um, with the women that I race with, we're not all in the same classes, but we have a tradition where the Monday of race week, we have a group text, and whoever calls whole shot first is supposed to be allowed to have the whole shot. Of course, we don't really do it that way. We used to say you had to buy an ice cream for everybody else if you got the whole shot in your class. And it can be as early as 12:01 midnight Monday night, Sunday night, Monday morning that you can call whole shots. So,
But how
uh,
does that work? So do you actually get
well,
how do you actually get it?
it's bragging rights. It's well, first off, it's getting caught off guard because sometimes we'll go till Tuesday or Wednesday of race week, and somebody go, "Oh crap, whole shot," and then we'll all be like, "Oh yeah, we forgot." So it's just kind of it's a fun thing, but and it just because we're all different levels. We're all amateur, intermediate, expert within our text group. So it's just kind of bragging rights and fun. And then we talk smack in the text, and
Oh,
even
well,
though,
naturally.
yeah, but we're all on the track at the same time. So that's
Okay.
cool. But,
That's cool. How many of you go out in that group?
well, in this group text, there's 11 of us. And Katie is out right now because she's pregnant. She's due soon, very soon. I think she's due in March. Stephanie is out because she just had the surgery. And then we have other riders that'll be coming in and out. One of our riders is her daughter is 13, 14, very active in school sports and everything. So it's kind of hit and miss for her. Another one of our riders, who shall remain nameless, Andy, moved to Oklahoma on us. So, but we all are at various levels, various years of experience and whatnot. But we're all, except for two daughters, we're all over 30.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's what we like to do. That just kind of gets us going and whatnot. But um, so it's really cool that you have guys that will ride with you that are patient to ride with you. Um, God bless you, Joseph, my husband. He and I cannot ride together. We have never been able to ride together. And there's been a standing joke. I got interviewed a long time ago, and people are like, well, what's your advice? And I said, never ever ride with your spouse or your boyfriend or your dad, because, because
Yeah.
you usually end up in a fight. So and I will only tell this once because Joe is watching right now. He decided to be really cool. We had just started dating. He was on a CR 500, and we're going across a rocky, flat pasture that was, I don't know, a couple of 3 or 4 football fields long. And he wasn't but a handlebar's width away from me. And he decides to pull a wheelie on the 500 in the rocks, tapped out. And I just started braking, gearing down, turned around and went back to camp, never said a word to him. And he was in trouble when he got back to camp. I was not amused by that particular stunt at all. So you are lucky.
Yes, I am. But I can't say. I mean, there's definitely been moments. So the
I like
whole
that
learning from
delicate.
your people is
Yes.
challenging. So
Yeah, it is. It is. But that's the funny thing. There are some people that are great riders, but they don't know how to ride with somebody slower.
Right.
And that's a true talent, a skill. It's a gift for people to be able to do that. It really is. So, which I think kind of leads us into Dirtastic. Tell me about. I read a little bit about it, but I didn't want to say too much. I want to let you tell the story and how it all came about, and then I want you to talk about what do you do with Dirtastic? Where do you guys go, and your goals and fundamentals, all that kind of stuff. So, how did it start?
Dirtastic started, I think it's 3 years ago now. I had been to a women's event in Awashugal, uh, and we saw that, well, I was a coach there with some other gals, or like a
Mm-hmm.
helper. And so that was the first like real women's event that I had been to, and Candace put it together. She did a great job, and she ended up not continuing to do that. So I had a really great experience there, and I had been mountain biking with some women in Hood River, and really like feeling how it is, the vibe of
Mm-hmm.
being able to ride with other women that
Yeah.
were better than me, and not just riding with a bunch of dudes. So
Mm-hmm.
that was really nice. It felt really good, and I wanted to figure out, okay, how can I do this with dirt bikes? Because in the dirt bike world, for me, it was just me and dudes, and I would see the occasional female at races. We'd line up together. We'd like nervously say hi to each other. We'd
Yeah.
go race, and then at the end we might like high five. And so that, it was always a little uncomfortable. I was always really nervous. I didn't really know any other women,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to. I was just like really intimidated because they were better than me or whatever. We're competing.
Yeah.
So through mountain biking, that kind of like my experience there, that kind of is what inspired Dirtastic. And so got together with a local shop and decided, let's do this free women's ride and see if we can get some women to it. And we had 75 women show up at the
Oh my gosh.
first one. Yeah, it was great. It was just east of Hood River.
Yeah.
And it was with Fun Country Power Sports out there in the Dalles. So they really helped inspire this whole movement for me with Dirtastic. And with that, we had great success. And then we did a second one in Bend, Oregon, and we had, I think it was 65 or 75 women. But the catch was there were 6 inches of snow for a camp out. So it was definitely a different challenge. And the group of women who I had mentioned that I would see riding or racing, we had actually kind of joined up together and started. They would come to Dirtastic and help lead these group rides. And we were noticing that, like, wow, a lot of these women don't even know like where their
Mm-hmm.
brakes are, you know?
Yeah.
So that was kind of terrifying. And maybe we should do a little bit um, of instruction. So then I started doing skills clinics, and that evolved into this whole thing. So it kind of just naturally progressed into what it is now. And now we did one main event last summer at Washougal. We had
Mm-hmm.
170 women show up
That's
on
awesome.
dirt bikes. Yeah, we had the whole place to ourselves. And then this year, well, so I also I owned a hair salon called Clutch, and
Nice.
I sold it in October with my eyes set on working with Dirtastic 100%. So I still work in the salon, but Dirtastic is my new venture.
Okay.
And this year we have 3 main events. The main event is a women's dirt bike festival. So
Yeah.
it's a camp out for women to come ride dirt bikes and meet other women. It's for all levels. It's not just for the beginners, but
Yeah.
really just ultimately it's to build community and to bring female riders together in one place to have a good time. And I'm really focusing a lot on some of the higher level riders as well, because they're the ones who are lining up at these races that maybe don't ride with each other, and they really should, because it's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
um,
That's kind of like with our group text, and um, you know, we are just dirt bike riders are such a small microcosm in the world of extreme sports anyway. But then when you take it to women dirt riders, then it's even smaller. And So yeah, finding people that you have stuff in common with them, and things like that. You know, it's important because it's important to know that some of us still fall before we get out of camp, even though we've been racing for 38 years. I'm not saying it's ever happened to me recently, like 2 weekends ago. But
What happened?
you know, we were at the Enduro, and I just came in, and I have no legs. I'm short. I'm 5'3.5", and I just said, yeah, right there in front of everybody. So, but yeah, it's very important to have community like that, because it is intimidating trying to talk to guys about the issues that you're having, and you don't know if they're gonna be like laugh at you and make fun of you, or take you seriously.
Well, if
And
they laugh at you and make fun of you, well, I don't know. They shouldn't be riding with you, or
it,
just kick them over.
right,
Something.
exactly, true, true. So, you know, when I first started racing, I dealt with that a lot, though. Even one of the guys out of our shop, um, and our shop was small. We were all on KTM's in the '80s, and we had one guy in particular that was pretty cocky, and I never rode with him. I rode with everybody else, but I never rode with him because he was kind of cocky. We'll just
Yeah,
leave it at that.
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
where those colorful words come in, right?
yes, yes, they do. But so now Dirtastic, your events, are they just riding events, or are they clinics with the event? Because I looked at the buying the ticket and the sessions, but I want you to talk about what happens at a main event. What are all the options and all that?
So at the main event, we on Friday night the gates open at 3, and then we'll have a welcome party. And there's no riding on Friday night, but just gets everyone together and gets the stoke level up. And then Saturday we have open riding most of the day, which is included in the ticket. And also there's additional options to do lessons, or I call them skill sessions
Yeah,
because it sounds like a little less learning. I don't know. It just sounds
I kind of
less
like the
like
sound of skill
school to me.
session. Yeah, I like
So,
that.
and so I have, with Dirtastic, there's 16 coaches this year, all female, and there will be 10 of us at the main event. The first main event is coming up in just like 2.5 weeks at Metcalf Motocross Park in San Jose, California.
Yeah,
So we have 10 women coaches coming down for that. And we will be coaching all levels, beginner to advanced.
yeah,
So we have those options, which are additional to the main event ticket. So you don't have to do lessons or
right.
skill sessions if you come, but they are available. And we have a couple different options with that. Um, so then there's also, what's really cool for this main event is that I have Brian Garahan. He's a local to Metcalf Motocross Park, and he
Mm-hmm.
does a lot of his training there. So I invited him to come with his fleet of bikes to teach
Oh,
never evers. So anyone
yeah,
that's like
that's nice.
never ridden a dirt bike can come. Because what's the thing is like, how do you learn how to ride? You borrow a friend's bike, you get
Mm-hmm.
some hand me down, whatever gear, and it's cool, but it's not always the easiest sport to learn. It's
Yeah,
not like going to the ski hill and like getting your lessons, right? You can't just
yeah,
do that anywhere. So Brian's doing that with he has 2 sessions on Saturday for the beginners. And then also what's really cool is that he's doing an expert rider and racer skill session.
that's cool.
So that would be like people who are obviously advanced in racing
Yeah.
and want to get faster. And so I
Mm-hmm.
would love to have some higher level riders come check that out, because we can always keep learning. And
Yeah.
I think it's important to recognize that. And it's I actually just was at Destry Abbott's house. He did an all women's clinic this weekend. There were
Nice.
22 of us, all women, and all levels, and it was great. We learned a lot, and it's always good to keep learning and pushing. So anyways,
Mm-hmm.
back to back to the
Oh
main
no,
event.
no, no. Actually, I think that's good because you know, I agree that for a while there, I kind of had stalled out. I was probably on the cusp of burnout, and I wasn't pushing to have a new bike. And Joe kept saying, "Well, we should get you a new bike." I'm like, "No, I'm good." I was on my '03 YZ, And then around 2010, I was still on the 03. I'm like, nah, I don't need a new bike. And so I kind of started popoing for points. And when I would take off from the line, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going. Nah, I'm just going to popo today. Just going to ride. And so I just kind of, I guess, just kind of laid back for a while. And now that I've got the new Sherco, got a new bike last year, first one.
I think I jumped on it actually.
Yes, you did.
In
You
the
did.
summer.
Yeah, the first one, new one since 03. And yeah, I'm going through some stuff. We rode this Enduro a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, there's some stuff I need to work on. I need to go find my girl, Allie Spurgeon, and start catching some woods laps with her. But I agree, it doesn't matter what your skill level is, you can still learn. And I think that's really cool that people like Destry are willing to work with all women, because it's intimidating if you're in a skill session with a bunch of guys.
Totally. And that is a huge thing about Dirtastic, is that we take that intimidation level out and really try to break that down and make it easier for women to learn without the pressure of guys. And it does make a difference when there's even just one guy there. It really does change the dynamic. And that's something that we all talked about this weekend. There were, like I said, there were 22 of us, and Destry even recognized it. He was like, wow, this is so different than when it's all dudes. Like they all, like, I don't know, have these egos. And all the women, he was impressed that we were all so supportive and cheering each other on and really helping each other through this stuff. And so that's something that the skill sessions really, that's a huge part of it, is to help make it a comfortable space to learn. And no, the coaches, we're not all like pro riders. We're all real riders and race. Like, we all ride and race. And I think it's kind of nice to have that as well, where, like, to try to keep the intimidation level down. Of course, like, we all have been through training, and we have a lot of experience, and it's stuff that we can, like, real life stuff that we can share with these women. And it's like, I still have my moments. I still cry on the trail. I still have my things that I struggle through. So it's like, just to be real with each other and not try to, like, prove something that we're not, that we're above it or better. Like, we're always learning, and we're always falling, and we're always, the more you push it, the more, I actually was on a ride today, and I totally ate it hard, and it's like, it just happens. It's trying to do something, and I didn't succeed.
But even when you don't necessarily succeed, the fact that you're trying it, and you're attempting it. So I think that's really important. And it's one thing that we've talked about a lot, all of us, through the years, is that there's so much of life lessons that you learn from being on a dirt bike, that you carry with you away from the track or away from the trail, so to speak. And I think that's really important, because, you learn to do things you never thought you could. And
totally.
And that's a lot of what life is, negotiating the ups and downs and getting through something that you didn't think you could get through, which that's one of the reasons why I post. I don't edit out my bad days of racing off my GoPro. I go ahead and post it. And I'm like, guys, look, it doesn't matter how long you have or haven't been riding. You're going to have great days, and then you're going to have really ugly days. So, and it's how you deal with the ugly days that really defines who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I've learned a lot through riding, or just any sport in general, right? Like, the competitive nature, but dirt biking, it does translate into real life. And that's, like, if you go to the website, dirtastic.com, it does say on there to build confidence on and off the bike. Because if we're empowering women to go out and do something, and pushing each other or pushing ourselves to do something that we maybe didn't know that we could do, then like, what is that? That's a feeling. And it's so hard. It's an undescribable feeling. But if you've done it, if you've felt it and you've experienced it, then that feeling does translate into real life. And it does carry you through those days that are a little bit more challenging, or there's times that like you think, oh, this is like the worst, right? So I know that my life has changed for sure from being around just from the sport and pushing it.
Yeah,
And really it's like being with these women. It's been a game changer for me.
totally. I mean, and because we can all talk the same language. And the one thing that I've always said about dirt bikes is that it brings everybody together from so many different walks of life, different careers. By the way, hi, Reagan. Um, and different backgrounds and everything. But what's so cool is if it's riding weekend or race weekend, you're talking dirt. You're not talking politics. You're not talking anything. You know, like down here, Cowboys are playing. Who cares? Saturday night, Supercross will be on at everybody's camp. But,
Always.
you know, but as far as watching professional sports otherwise, nah, we're talking about the dirt and the bikes and the experiences, which I think is amazing that, you know, my little gem Moto Maddie is 16, but she's my peer because she chews dirt.
Right.
And I think that's the most amazing thing is that it brings all of us together and it doesn't matter our age or our backgrounds. And I think that's really cool that Dirtastic is really pushing kind of that mentality and that building that community to be competitive, but also to be humble as you're competitive.
Absolutely. I mean, it's definitely like, think of all the people, all of you who have joined in. I've seen a lot of people joining, and I've met a lot of you through the sport, and I think there's we all know people from such random places,
Yeah.
but we are all joined by motorcycles and dirt biking. And to me, so in a hair salon, I always say, like, I love my job because I get to spend time with people one-on-one that I would never, ever, ever have spent time with.
Yeah.
And that to me is like one of the best parts about my job behind the chair. And it's also one of the best things about riding dirt bikes is that I'm meeting people from all over the world that ride dirt bikes. And that's all that matters. You put that helmet, you put your gear and helmet on, like, it's fun. It's just so much fun. And it's contagious for sure.
I love the fact that it doesn't matter whether you ride a 2-stroke or a 4-stroke. Everybody knows what brap means. Everybody knows. But one of the things I did want to point out, in case people start going to Dirtastic and checking out, you know, the tickets and stuff for main events, keep in mind, guys, y'all need to read everything that entails. That gets you dinner. It gets you coffee. It gets you all kinds of things. The add-ons are if you do want to do the skill sessions, but the fact that you're at a facility and you're not at the whim of weekend warriors who are all running hurly-gurly the wrong way and whatever else. So it's worth checking out because I'll tell you what, last summer when we were all at Floresville for the Makeup to Mud camp, it was really cool. And gentlemen, don't be offended. We are so not bashing on guys at all. But there were so many women there and not very many men. And it was the majority of the women that were there were riding. And there were some families.
And like ripping, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I know.
Like
There was
tearing it up. It was so fun to watch. I think
yes.
Tina was like, and JJ was there. Yeah, it was fun.
Who was whipping like Weston? Somebody was like clearing one of the jumps and whipping. Like
Probably
Weston.
JJ.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was really cool being there and experiencing that. So, you know, I think it's awesome that Dirtastic is really working towards making that happen more frequently. And, you know, it's worth the road trip. I know, guys, y'all are like, oh, it's over on the West Coast. That's a long way. You're right. Somebody posted there's going to be one in Colorado.
Yep. So June 5th through the 7th, we have a main event in Colorado. It's in Grand Junction. And then also there's one in the Pacific Northwest. I'm still working on those dates. I know it's killing me too. If anyone has been following, it's like we're getting down to the nitty gritty of the details. I have a location. I'm not going to say where, but it is in the Pacific Northwest. It's close to Canada. So all you Canadians can come down too. But it's, yeah, so there's 3 this year. And then we also have a tour in Colorado coming up. I just did a tour in Baja last week. But then we have a tour. It's a little bit higher level. But but that one will be, I think it's April 30th to May 4th, and that's an all-inclusive tour there. And then we also have a tour in Thailand in December. So
Yeah, I just
yay,
saw
yeah.
that. And
So
with
it's not
that,
just limited to the main events. Like there are other
right.
options if you can't make a main event and you want to go ride. I'll be
Mhm.
at all the tours and um, yeah.
So, how many events right now for this year do you have planned? Is it 5?
I have 3 main events, and then I have an enduro. It's the Empire of Dirt Enduro Skill Session.
Mm-hmm.
It's May 16th to the 17th in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and that will be a month before the Sticks and Stones Hard Enduro race.
Oh,
So
wow.
hint,
Okay.
hint, if you're planning on racing or you know someone that is planning on
Mm-hmm.
racing that, a female, we have 20 spots available, and that will be live as soon as I can make it, as soon as I can get time to make that web page go live.
Yeah.
I will have that. So that will be the 4th session, and then I'm working on a couple others, just
Right.
smaller local sessions around the Northwest, really, and then the tours. So there will be more through the fall. I just have to get through the next couple of weeks before I
Oh,
can start
yeah.
adding.
Yeah. And where are all your coaches from?
Mostly the Pacific Northwest. We
Okay.
have Oregon, Washington, Idaho. We have someone from BC, Nevada, and then I think that's it for now. But
Right.
working on some California girls and
Mm-hmm.
definitely expanding. The more coaches we have and further away, the more sessions or events I can put in other regions of the country. So
Yeah, yeah, because we had briefly talked about that last summer.
yeah.
So yeah, I was curious about that particular part of it. Hey, Amanda, good to see you. Amanda, right here. This girl can rock and rip. She Love and Laugh 27. She was our leadoff leg in our Gutbuster 24 race back in June, and she was second off the line, and they had to run from the Red Bull balloon to their bikes, and she didn't have a button.
Oh no,
Yep, yep. It
but
was
she
really
still
cool.
got it.
Oh, yeah, and first kick, and she was gone. And I'll have to send you the video of it because it's hilarious. She's teeny tiny too, but yeah, that's one
Those
of the things.
those small ones are always pack some punch, right?
Heck yeah. Oh yeah, because the guy running next to her tries to elbow her, and she just elbows him right back and gets to her bike. It's awesome, but um, that's one of the things we're trying to do. A bunch of us have talked about is expanding out into other events, other venues, not just riding, because riding torn is cross country, but definitely doing enduro and some other things like that. But um, I would like to encourage everybody to go check out Dirtastic. Check out the website. It's DIRTASTIC,
Yes,
Dirtastic.com, right?
yes, that's correct.
Okay.
It's like
Yep.
fantastic,
Yep.
but dirtastic.
And definitely give Kalyn a follow here on Instagram. What else you want to share with us, Kalyn? Because we've covered quite a bit of ground here.
Yeah, we have. I'm super stoked to see everyone joining, and I'm also so excited to see how this women's movement is going.
Mm-hmm.
There's Dirtastic, Over and Out, Babes in the Dirt, Make Up to Mud. Like there's a lot of really powerful, and then all the other small
The
groups that
girls
are
who
all,
ride.
yeah, the Girls Who Ride, like all
Yeah.
the small groups that are all around the country, and it's really cool to see all these women coming together. So there's that's huge, I think, and it's showing the industry. The industry is really seeing what's happening, and I think that this
Yes.
is really important because there's a lot of things that we all know that we need for female riders, and I think
Yes.
with the more visibility of who we are and what we're doing and that we need these things, that we'll start seeing more change. And the women's part of the industry is truly the fastest, the only part of the industry that's, well, don't quote me on that actually, but I think you can actually, maybe you can, but it's like really the fastest and probably the only portion of the industry that is truly growing,
Mm-hmm.
is the women's portion. So that's really cool to see, and just really continuing to show, like, be friendly, talk to
Mm-hmm.
the other women that you see, go up to them and say hi, continue to build that community, because we are definitely stronger in numbers. And when sometimes if there's a woman that maybe you've seen who seems like she might not be like friendly or whatever, go say
Mm-hmm.
hi to her, because she might be freaking out on the
Yeah.
inside and
Yeah.
she might be so nervous. And so if you just say hi, it could make her whole day, and you might have a new riding buddy. So
Yeah.
that's really a huge thing. And let's just keep building this community and this movement.
I agree. You know, if you don't want to exchange phone numbers, say, hey, are you on Instagram? Why don't you give me a follow? You know, that kind of thing. You can work up to exchanging phone numbers. But I know that there are women who want to ride with other women. They just don't know how to ask.
Right.
And
It's scary. We're all
yeah,
intimidated by each other. So let's
yeah, I
get through
know.
that stuff and just like say hi and smile and laugh and go
Hmm.
ride dirt bikes.
Definitely. Most definitely. Got any advice for anybody other than going up and saying hi?
Advice.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't I
Well,
have
here,
I
let me put it this way. I actually occasionally I will DM people who follow, especially if I know them personally, and I'm like, "Here's your homework assignment. What do you want me to talk about on live?" And one comment was, "Claw, this may be yours again. What's the best piece of advice anybody ever gave you?" And I've chewed on that one for quite a while, and I was like, geez, I've had a lot of advice. What's the best piece of advice? Um, one is from experience. The other one is from riding with the guys out of the KTM shop so long ago. Best piece of advice I have is stay out of the middle, and then never follow into a single rut, especially when you're fighting for first place. But don't follow in a rut. Take another rut, you know, try a different line. Even if they're in your line, get out of it, because they may fall, they may crash, they may get stuck. So those are the things that stick out for me. Anything for you?
My biggest piece of advice, I mean, it could be about riding, but it's actually about everything, is just believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Really believe in who you are, and just believe in yourself and know that you can do it. And
Mm-hmm.
if you feel like you can't, just keep believing that you can, because at some point you will be able to. And
Yeah.
all the advice for racing, there's so many things
Oh my
that
gosh.
could be said, but really truly just believe in yourself. When you get just in life, you get on a dirt bike, believe in yourself. You
Yeah.
go out, and you whatever you're doing, it's tattooed on my shoulder. So
That's
it's a big
cool.
piece of advice. Yeah.
Well, I always
Um,
like to tell people that, Ricky Carmichael used to crash a lot too, and they all started where we started with the I can go 5 feet and I have to think through every motion I'm doing. You know, there's my boy PJ. Hey, PJ, how you doing? Um, Dude, thank you so much for coming on. Definitely, guys, go check out dirtastic.com. Follow dirt.astic here on
yes.
Instagram. I didn't say anything bad. And just so everybody knows, especially for those of y'all who are joining late and don't think you're going to get to watch everything within 24 hours, I download and then I post to my YouTube channel, and then I'll post on Jackalope saying it's now on YouTube. The link for my YouTube channel is in my bio. But yeah, it'll be there if you want to send people to go watch it later, and anybody who missed it. And I want to say thank you everybody who's been commenting and has popped in and said hello. Y'all, we are a community. It doesn't matter whether you're on a white bike, a blue bike, red bike, green bike. It doesn't matter. We're on two wheels. We're in the dirt. We're loving it. So remember, any day we get to ride is a good day. Live to ride another day, y'all. Thank you so much, Kalyn. And I
Thank
will
you,
see you.
LJ. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, I really enjoyed having you. All right, guys, we're going to say goodnight, okay? Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. Ooh. And